How are you feeling about this weekend stepping up as head coach?
Sorry, I'm just admitting a couple more. Yeah, we're pretty calm. We've planned for something like this to potentially happen throughout this crazy, weird season. Look, yeah, I'm grateful that the club have put some trust in me to take this opportunity, but really it's a collaborative approach with all our coaching group and all our staff, really. We all just shuffle a few seats and we'll play our role, and hopefully we can put in a good performance at Jael while he's not here.
How much of an input will JL have while he's in ISO? Will he be coaching as well from the phone?
Yeah, we've had plenty of input yesterday afternoon and then this morning. Had a chat to him on the phone on the way in. Look, we're working through that, but I'm sure there's going to be some communications into the box, so he'll be able to have his input as the senior coach and tell us what he's seeing from his screen.
Do you think, given that you have coached at Eagles, it's you've got a bit of insight there heading into this game?
It always it helps. So I suppose I have some insight on some of the players that I've dealt with over the years. But yeah, they've clearly got quite a few number of staff changes themselves with new coaches, and they're playing a bit of a different brand of footy. And I know they've spoken a lot about their contest, and you're seeing that in game. So they definitely would have some different methods. But as far as individuals goes, yeah, I suppose I can have some insight in that from that point of view.
Jaymie, when you did coach the Eagles, did you try steady as she goes, not change too much, or did you try and do a few different things that might have caught the opposition on the hop?
No, steady as she goes. I think what's important, most clubs are really quite process driven, and we've got our systems and our style of play and what we want to do. So you've got to be yourself as far as the way you present to the group and your own personality, but yeah, we've got systems and behaviours and a style of play that we want to produce. So that won't change just because of 1 week of Jael not being here.
So what's the mental challenge of being a senior coach like, and how is it different to being an assistant coach?
So far, not a lot will change because it is this 1 week, but I've just probably been in more conversations the last 24 hours. Although JL, he's still around and he's on the phone and still is making a lot of calls. But yeah, and there's a few questions you get asked, but no, not a lot will change. Like I said, it will be a collaborative approach. Everyone will play their roles as far as coaching their lines, and I suppose it's just you're sitting in the seat for the day.
And what is he allowed and not allowed to do? Because obviously there are AFL protocols around betting and those sort of things, and mobile phones as a result of those protocols. Is there anything he's not allowed to do when he's trying to communicate remotely? Yeah,
Duff, to be honest, I'm not really 100% across all the protocols, what JL is currently allowed to do. I think they're working through that. We saw this situation a couple of weeks ago with Michael Voss and Ash Hansen, and from what I understand, there was communication in the box there. So I'm sure the club will work out with the AFL what can and can't be done. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they're working through that scenario and the fact that he will be able to communicate with the box.
Can you tell us a bit about Neil Erasmus and the fact that he's making his debut in a derby?
Yeah. It's exciting for Neil and the club. Neil's had a fantastic pre-season. He's well loved by the playing group and all the staff. His effort and his intent and the way he goes about things at training has been outstanding, and he's really earned this opportunity. His form at Peel Thunder's been excellent. He's a hard worker, and he puts his head in the hole to win a hard ball. So I don't think he'll be too overawed by the situation, and yeah, exciting for him and also his family.
What's the latest on Caleb Sarong, Jaymie?
Yeah, Caleb's had a bit of a sore leg. He has been off legs this week, and given we have got too late to name the teams, we're going to give him every chance. He's so important to our midfield. So yeah, he's been sore, and we're going to give him right up to the last minute to see if he's available.
Are you confident at this stage? Can you put a figure on it?
Not really. Seeing what we saw today, he wasn't doing too much. But no, we'll know more tomorrow in our captain's run if he gets up and going.
Jaymie, just in returns to Neil Erasmus, he sort of appears like he's a young fella in a hurry to achieve things. Can you just give us a bit of an insight into his competitive streak and nature?
Yeah, you're not wrong, Paddy. He is in a hurry, but I suppose he's definitely competitive as well. But he's been patient. I think when he first came in, he would have liked to have gone straight in round one. But look, he's trained hard all through pre-season. He's been in the middle, mixing it with the midfield. He's shown his work rate, and that shows out game day with his competitiveness, because he works hard. And like I said earlier, he's willing to put his head in the hole to win a hard ball. So yeah, you'll see that with him. But for someone who is in a hurry, he's showing great patience, and he's really worked on his game and building his strength in the gym, his fitness. So yeah, hopefully he's in a great position to perform.
Do you use him in the midfield there? Obviously, you're caught out a little bit last week without Fife and Mundy and a bit light on. Do you use him majority in the midfield, or do you use sort of that nous up forward as well?
Yeah, majority midfield. That's his position. Over the last couple of weeks at Peel, he's had small stints forward. He's got quite good hands for a midfielder when he goes forward, and he has got a bit of nous there. So we'll see him mainly through the midfield, but there's an opportunity that he can go forward as well.
Jaymie, there's been some talk that there might be a couple of other players impacted by the COVID protocols. Can you give us a bit of an update? Is there anyone else out at the moment as opposed to Justin?
No, not that I'm aware of. Obviously, we've got Dave, who's been impacted, but no, everyone was at the club today, so no issues there.
Oh, good news. Thanks.
But Jaymie, despite the extension, have you guys essentially picked your team?
Hey, Steve, no, we've still got a couple of guys that we're waiting on. Shaun is another one who hasn't done a lot this week. He actually was out there running, and he's improving rapidly. So, yeah, we've got our captain's run tomorrow, which we'll still get a fair bit of work in, and we'll definitely know more about our team tomorrow, but we haven't picked it.
Given Shaun's injury history, do you play it cautiously at all, or do you just feel like you need him if he's available?
Yeah, he's an important player to us. So when you think big picture, but if he is available, yeah, he'll play. He's important in the ruck. Nick Natanui's a fantastic ruckman, so it's an important battle in that area. We've got Lloyd who'll do a great job, and we know of it. But if Shaun's available and fit, yeah, and puts his hand up to play, he'll play.
Thank you. And can I just lastly ask how you feel about being the first person to coach both West Coast and Freo?
Look, like I said earlier, I'm really grateful that the club have put trust in me to be in this position. But yeah, how we feel about it is, again, it's a collaborative approach. Yeah, we just shuffle a few seats, but yeah, it's exciting at the same time.
Jaymie, clearly you went through the process at Collingwood. Do you view this as an ability or a chance to measure yourself, or is it just a case of this is a set of circumstances that's been forced upon you?
No, it's just a set of circumstances. Like anything in life, I suppose you have experiences which help along the way. But it's just a great opportunity for our club, who have been really working on their trademark and behaviours. We got one of our main leaders not around. Nat obviously isn't playing, and Dave Mundy. So there's some leaders around who aren't playing. So it's a good test for our maturity as a club. And yeah, like I said, we have got a mentality of playing your role, whatever is required. So yeah, that's why I say it.
The club has copped some stick off the back of what was a pretty disappointing loss to St Kilda last week. Do you have to? Is one of your jobs to give them a bit of a rev up and throw a challenge at them before this game?
Yeah, we reflected on last week's performance. We definitely didn't play our style, although going down and you're not going to win every game, we want to do it playing our way. We didn't quite do that. We got processes in place and we worked really hard throughout the week. But yeah, it's around the boys' willingness just to stick it at our style and play our way. So don't really need any added motivation, I suppose. The boys, they know where we let ourselves down last week, and we get an opportunity to bounce back this week.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Jaymie, just one more if I just a quick one. Sorry, Jaymie, just obviously you've been involved in derbies as a player and a coach on the other side, but with the COVID dominating the landscape over the last couple of weeks, does it feel like a very unique one at the moment? And what's JL sort of been saying to you over the phone? How do you think he's going to handle coaching from home?
Go, Josh. Yeah, have been a part of the RAC Derby a number of times, whether it's in a coaching way or as a player, and it's a big game for our state, I suppose. There's obviously a lot of excitement and hype and plenty of talk around the offices around the Derby. So JL, like I said, he's process driven. We've had plenty of conversations. He'll be disappointed he can't be there on the day, but he's got full trust in his staff to do what they need to do and get the job done on the weekend. So yeah.
Thanks, mate.
Jaymie, just one final one, just on Neil Erasmus. We saw Nathan O'Driscoll debut last week as the Medi sub. Is there any chance you'll do the same with Neil, or do you play him a full game?
No, we saw Driz last week. We're still got to finalise our squad, and Neil's playing and making his debut. As far as the 23rd or the Medi sub goes, it's not ideal, but it's the landscape we're in at the moment. And Driz was pretty happy to make his debut and come on as the Medi sub. So yeah, we've still got to finalise our side and with our selection. But he will be part of our squad and be playing.